basically, it started with a bunch of college students that wanted to make shit happen, excuse my French, and they partnered up with each other and started plugging in and making their businesses happen. And Rob Wefker had already been an entrepreneur, and he thought that he would be some sort of help in the program, and they were like, no, we don't need mentors or anything, like we got each other, don't even worry about it. And so so he does entrepreneurial research at VU, and he found that this program actually did help those students, and so he decided to make a nonprofit and continue it. His main motivation was that this also transformed him as a person. So he would always say, if I wasn't an entrepreneur, I would either be in prison or working construction. And so for that reason, he and the students created this program so that it could be available to anyone in the community that had an idea and wanted to make it happen. So that's why this is a free resource, and that's why you're all here, because we don't all belong to a certain establishment like a university or anything. It's just a community that has something in common, and that's entrepreneurship. It's really valuable because we're kind of weird, right? Like there's not a lot of people that would go to work for 8 hours a day and then go home and like keep working. That's not a thing in the common world. And so it's important to have your support and the people you can talk to and people you can say, ask the questions to and get feedback from. So, all right, I talked too much. Okay, so we'll start with the MOCR. So this is basically a 9-day program. We are all gonna start with this little sheet. It's 1 to 2 pages, however long you wanna do it. This is called a MOCR, Mission, Objective, Key Results. This is used in Silicon Valley in companies from startup all the way to Apple or companies that big. So the point of this document, we're only gonna do it once. This is just to get all of the crazy ideas and all the crazy stuff that you gotta work on all in paper to a 90-day plan. So this is more valuable than a business plan, because a business plan, you're portraying like, okay, I'm gonna be here in a year, and I'm gonna be here in 2 years, and here in 5 years, and that is completely fictional in the startup world, because things can change within 1 day, and all of a sudden your whole 20-page business plan is completely irrelevant. So that's what this is for. You've got your mission, what you want to accomplish for the next 90 days. Say finish the prototype, and then what you're gonna do to finish a prototype here. So you'll have, whatever, this is all tailored to you. So this is a structure, but it's not as, it's very flexible to whatever your needs are. So you can go ahead and do the mission, the 5 things that you need to do to accomplish that mission, and then the key results. So the key results is the how are you going to accomplish that. So if it's, for example, let's see, I haven't read this in a little bit, but secure seed financing. So that is a very broad goal for 90 days. So you got to break that down, hold investor meetings and maybe meet with 50 investors, or raise this much in funding, create all the documents. So this is your action plan, right? And so I always tell people, don't get scared, don't spend more than 20 minutes on this document, because again, you might talk to a mentor, or you might do something and it can just completely change this. And so this is all hypothesis. I want to do this, and and you can keep changing it within the 90 days. So this is what we do to get started. We will have, I can email you guys this so you can look it over and tailor it to your idea. And then you'll submit it before we get started. And everybody in this room, hopefully, if you're interested, will take some time to read everybody's documents. This is important because our meetings are only 1 hour long. And so, and it's also important so people can give you feedback on whatever they have. And so we'll read each other's MOCRs so we know what everybody's up to. And then we'll meet on, say, Monday morning for 1 hour, and we'll start plugging in. And with that, okay, don't let this scare you again. We start our week with a management report. This is a weekly report where you can actually track your progress. And so I'm gonna pull up a not so scary one. Okay, so this one, so I did this for one of my ideas. So the milestones, this is your, what is it called? Remember this? Remember these objectives? Those objectives are just gonna copy paste into here. So this will allow you to get a date on there. And so this is a big motivator and a big guide for you as you go through your 90 days. So say, you know, I wanna do business model canvas, that's just to organize my thoughts. I wanted to link companies that needed talent with college students. And so I wanted to do a mock-up for what that project might look like. 6 interviews with industry experts. I really had no idea what I was doing, so I needed some guidance. So that was one of my goals. Live website. I had never made a website in my life. And so I just Googled website, free website tutorial. And so that my goal was to finish that. I wanted to test that program with the company I was working in, and so propose that, my project, to that company, and then recruit 2 mentors. So that was my 90-day, those were my 90-day goals. So, and then metrics, you don't have to do this, but again, it helps you track things. Say if I had the live website, I could say, okay, I'm gonna do 20% in 3 weeks, and then all the way to that target date. Okay, and then this is the fun part. So, you know, this week I finished my MOCR. Yeah, I can check that off the list. Made a list of grants in the area, paid for a domain name and hosting. And so this is when you're like, all right, I'm making some progress. Plans, those were the plans for the week. I was working full time, so it's okay if you just have 2 things on your list for plans that week because it's a busy week. So those were my plans for the week. And then this is the most important part of the document, problems. So we'll meet once a week for 1 hour before, say it's Monday. So we'll submit these documents on Friday so that we all have, or Thursday or whatever, so we all have the weekend to read at least everybody's problems. If you don't have the time to read the whole thing, at least just the problems. And then we can, because it's a Google Drive, we can all comment like, learning WordPress and building websites time consuming. And you know, maybe Laura has built a website before and she knows of a video that I can follow that will make it not so time consuming. So she'll just do a little comment here like, oh, I know this tool, and then she'll put a link on there, and that solves my problem. Things that we can't solve without meeting. that's what we're gonna talk about every Monday. And so I'll be like, hey, well, I'm having a problem this week. It's difficult to find time to work on my startup. I'm really kind of disorganized, and I don't know if you guys have something that can help me. And so you'll be like, oh yeah, I usually wake up at 6 in the morning and go on a run, and that usually helps me get my head straight or whatever. And so that's what, and then you'll go, and then you'll be like, this week, we only got like 2 people in our coffee shop, and so like, how do we get more people there? And so I'll be like, oh, I have a friend that has a coffee shop, maybe you should talk to her. She gets a ton of people every day, so maybe she knows what to do. And so I'll give you her contact info. So these are just examples, and we have an hour to go through everybody's problem, so that the main concept is we don't need any mentors when we are all super smart, we're all super driven, and we can all help each other. And then one last thing on here is priorities. This is important because there's a million things to do and you never really seem to have enough time. So that just kind of keeps you sane. So if I start doing networking, a lot of networking that week, I'm like, why am I doing networking? I'm supposed to work on my business model. And so that kind of gets me back on track. So that's it. The time commitment, again, don't spend more than 20 minutes on the 90-day plan. That's gonna change. And this, I like it. Some people like to do it vaguely. The more you get into it, the more value you'll get out of it. And so this has helped me with everything. I started with the startup, and then now with it's helped me organize myself even just at my job right now. And so this is kind of how engineers work. So if you learn the system, you can pretty much do anything you want to, because you're more effective, you're more motivated. You can always go back to the reports for the last 90 days, or no, how many weeks? 12 weeks, and you can be like, wow, I made a lot of progress. Like, that is cool. So that is it. I can email everybody these 2 documents. We can set a deadline for the MOCR, and those who submit their 20-minute, 90-day plan are welcome to join the next cohort. This coming cohort is cohort number 2. Cohort number 1 was Laura, myself, Laura, right there, myself, and this awesome girl, Tori, that couldn't come tonight. So we're growing. This is awesome. There's actually a lot of entrepreneurs in the area. I was expecting 8 people at most, and it just kind of grows organically. So this is a good community to be part of. There's a bigger Foundry community in Salt Lake. We usually do guest speaking events, and we can all get to know each other at those. Along with this, if anybody wants to have a guest speaker or is like, I am dying because I'm supposed to keep up with accounting in my business and I just like have no idea what I'm doing, can we get an accountant to like teach us something? And so I'll be like, sure, I know an accountant. I'll bring him in Wednesday at 6 and we can all meet and learn about accounting. Or more fun things like design, I don't know, marketing. And so we have that freedom to get someone in here to provide value for you. There is another part of it, but I actually didn't do this. I forgot completely about this part. And it's a project, what is it? Project review. So that's at the end of this, right? That's every, like, once you're done with this, you can present, you can like put together all of your management reports, and you can almost like a not a pitch, because that's, you're talking about all the
Like
good
a board
stuff.
meeting.